Thank God.
You wouldn't want to come to Indiana, would you? In May?
I don't have anything going on.
I'll get... Hi, this is Candy with Riverside, Iowa Paranormal, and welcome back to our Paranormal, Psychic, and Metaphysical Festival at the Rock Island YMCA. And I've been joined by Rex Nielsen of All Out Paranormal. Rex, thanks for joining. So, how did you get into the paranormal field?
I'll make it quick. I'll give you the Reader's Digest version.
Okay.
Between 4 or 5, we were living in a house that my dad was remodeling downstairs, and activity started. And the two figures that would show up, I called them the bad ones. And they would tell me the most awful, disgusting things and want me to do. I've never repeated what they've said, and I won't to this day. This went on for almost a year, and one night they'd gotten so mad at me that because I wasn't doing what they were saying, I kept ignoring as much as I could. I'd gone to town with my mother that day, and I was 5, and I had all these Hot Wheels lined up on my dresser, which is 8 or 10 foot away. Each one of them started flying off towards me.
And how old were you at that time?
5.
5.
Then all of a sudden, it's like they hit a wall and fell to the floor. And that's when I noticed at the foot of my bed was 2 more figures. And I call them the good ones. And they would not allow the bad ones to get to me in any way, shape, or form. I could always hear both sets of the spirits in my head. That's how I heard them. It wasn't like they mouthed anything because they were just dark figures. I couldn't see anything. And that went on until we moved away when I was 8. And that's what got me into this. I mean, it started at a young age. You know, I tell my parents, but what do you tell a 5-year-old? You're having a bad dream, you know,
or
you're
imaginary
fine.
Friend, or...
And it's always been an interest to me, and I've just gone with it. And this is my 10th year of professionally out doing my paranormal investigations.
So I'm assuming you go to a lot of locations. What's been your favorite location to investigate so far?
Wow. So far? Man, that's...
And for you watching at home, if you're just getting into paranormal, you don't realize how tough a question what I just asked him is to narrow it down to one location.
I would have to say Edinburgh, because we got into it when they were first allowing. I think it was different back then than it is now.
Okay.
And between my son and I, we've spent over 600 hours in Edinburgh. He actually,
How you doing, Mary?
we had an isolation project. He actually locked himself in that place for 5 days.
That's
alone.
your son, Chris,
yes,
right?
Alone.
What happened in those 3 days? Most memorable thing, I should say.
Oh, man. The first day that we were coming in, we got there, and our buddies, Creeps, had been in there with a group that they were kind of mentoring. So we go in, and if you've been to Edinburgh,
It's one of my favorites, yeah.
you got the 2 little nurses stations up front where you put all your equipment, your command center. We had just walked in. It's almost noon, and so we're messing around, and we said, "Hey, I'm hungry. Is anybody else hungry?" And from down the end of the hall, we hear a man go, "Yeah, a sandwich." As plain as we're talking now. And we both stood there going, of course, we don't have a single piece of equipment with us. And that happened. And it snowballed from there. I mean, the stuff we caught, like Chris, when he was alone, was going out somewhere, and he said, "I'm leaving for a while, I'll be back." We had cameras rolling, and it sounded like they were right next to the camera. They said, "He has to go. He wants our property." Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it's a lot of experiences there. I mean, we never had anything bad happen there. Other places we have, but that was just so active when we first started going there. and try to sleep in it at night. You hear talking, babies crying, doors open and closing,
Yep.
and you couldn't drown it out. There was nothing you could do. And it's constant.
Yeah, that place never
This place is amazing.
We've had people just come in on the short little tours today and come back and have had their first ever experience. It's kind of fun watching.
Before I forget,
Yeah.
the first question you asked me, I actually drew pictures of what I saw.
Do you have them with you?
Yes, I do. And this is what I seen for a while before. That was the mean ones. And they were like smoke.
If you at home can't see this, we'll be sure to get a picture of this up on our Facebook page for you to see what Rex just showed me.
And then, this is what I've seen of the good ones.
Oh. Maybe it's your grandparents or some ancestors.
I don't know, but I do have a story about, because when we left, I never seen either one of them again. Exactly 5 years ago, I was in my bedroom reading, and over the top of the book was this brilliant orange white light. I put the book down, and these two figures were standing at the foot of my bed. They were the good ones, but I could see them as plain as I see you. I finally could see him. He had his derby on, and he had a handlebar mustache, pinstripe suit, and a cane. She had a big bustle, a beautiful blue, royal blue dress. She had a bun in her hair. Beautiful woman. They're standing at the foot of my bed, and I'm like, really? You know, they both reached down. One grabbed me and touched one leg, and one touched the other, and they looked at me and said, "We'll always be there for you." And then they kind of faded back in the light. I don't know who they are. I have no clue.
Do you have other psychic abilities? Like, are you a medium, or are those the only ones that appear to you? Or?
No. I had an ability, but I kind of, like most people, I didn't follow through with it. But we were at an event in Ames, and the area we were talking, there were so many people in the room, they were out in the hallway. We had so many people. And so we got done, and we said, well, if you want to ask some more, come back to our booth. On the way back to the booth, this woman comes up and she grabs me by the arm, and she goes, "You can help me." And I kind of looked at her. I knew what she was talking about, but I never made it public of what I could do. And I looked at her and I said, "What do you mean?" She goes, "I know, you're the one that can help me." I said, "Okay, come back to the booth." We get back there, and there's like 50 people around there, and we had to get through it. And I told Chris, entertain these people. And my ability is I can see if you have an attachment, and I can tell whether it's good or bad. And it's actually spawned from there, because if we go someplace, I'll have spirits come up to me, and every time I do and get EVPs, it always says that I'm there to help. And it took me a long time to take that. But anyway, to make a long story short, I did what I did for her because this attachment was dark and was ruining her life, everything about it. And it's amazing when it happens, because I make the spirit come to me, and then I push them away. Because I have them focus on me so they leave that person alone. And her face changed, her whole attitude changed. To this day, I still get emails and stuff from her and how much it changed her life. I ended up doing 8 of those that day, and that was something that I don't post on anything.
You're doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah, they sought me out, and I was just amazed at it. And I still hear from the people, and it's great. I mean, I'm glad I finally embraced it and started doing something with it.
That's awesome. So,
Uh-oh.
and I know you have some of it that you brought with you today.
Yes,
We're getting to the art, but best pieces of evidence you've captured. Because I know one of them was here, wasn't it? I think a picture of...
Yes, we were Ghost Crier had put it on, and I was up on the second or third floor, and I was doing, I'm really good at it, with spirit photography. And they brought up 6 or 8 people at a time. I had 15 minutes to tell them, and I was telling them about, when you take a picture, 1 in a million, you're going to catch something if you're doing this. I said, if you do it, most cameras or phones, you can set for take at least 5 pictures in a row, and that's
what
setting,
I
do.
Yeah.
And I'd been up there all day. I'd taken 109 pictures.
Oh, wow.
Picture 106 had a full figured individual standing there.
I've seen that picture.
And the thing
It's
is,
incredible.
if I can't explain it away, there's no way to debunk it, because if there was something that made that anomaly, it would have been in more than one picture. And 109 pictures, and there's 108 where there's nothing but a hallway. And it's funny because I'm doing a thing on spirit photography, and I end up catching it. And every time I've been here, I've caught something. So
This location never disappoints.
No, not at all.
So now,
Yes.
back to Rex, everybody, is an artist. And he has brought some of his work with him here today. And I think you have some with you that
Yes.
you can share.
I just brought 3 pieces that I do there's no rhyme or reason. I'm a huge Queen fan, so there's Freddie. Everything I do is either on a canvas panel or on premium watercolor paper. I call it unexplainable art because I have no rhyme or reason. I don't have some big epiphany that makes me do what I do. It just comes to me. Or I can look at something and I bring it out. Or I look at something, and I say, I can make that better. And I'll change it to what I do. So I started doing little ones, and this is Freddie, and everything I do is with a permanent marker.
Okay.
But I learned how to take it
Wow.
and be able to blend it. And what I do is I take rubbing alcohol. You fill them up in those watercolor brushes, or you can fill up. I put rubbing alcohol in it to where I can get it and blend what I do.
So that is permanent marker.
Yes.
Like a Sharpie.
I don't use those because they suck. Sorry about that. Sorry, Sharpie, but
Wrong
not
choice
in
of
my
marker.
art.
But a marker similar in
Yes,
style to a
actually,
Sharpie.
I've gone real expensive. You got Copic, which is the most expensive marker. I'm talking hundreds of dollars. They didn't do anything. And I actually went with Tombow, and it's a very inexpensive marker, but I get this out of it, Like I said, it took me a long time to find one that I could do my art with, because I'd quit for 30 years, and then my kids didn't even know I could draw. And I just decided one day, and it took me about 6 months to figure out what I wanted to do, and I'm going, wow, look what I can do with a magic. And this one, the 2 big ones I've shown, I've just finished them.
Wow. That is
So,
great.
There we go. And this is my fiance's favorite one.
That's very nice.
And
Very nice.
it's new. Most of the stuff that I have put out there is what I've done probably in the last 4 months. When I get in a roll, I'll do 3 pictures a day if I've got the time. So, and it's all with a marker.
They're incredible. You need to stop out here and see them. And
You see, that's all dots.
it takes a lot of time.
It does. I try to, even just in the 4 years that I've started drawing again, from what I did 4 years ago and now, I hate the stuff that I did 4 years ago, because the more I've done, the more I've advanced with it, and people love the work, because there is no rhyme or reason what I do. Just what I do, I like it.
And all of you watching at home, if you can't make it here today, you can go to thriller.events and you can purchase Rex's drawings. We do have them listed on there for you, and I think you said you do have more.
Yes.
Keep watching the site. It does get updated frequently as he has new drawings become available. And I want to thank Rex for coming out here today and taking his time.
I really appreciate it. I'm honored to be here.
And there's still time for you at home to come on down to the Rock Island YMCA, 520th Street, Rock Island, Illinois.